Hi.
Hello, Lacey. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am excellent. This is Dustin Wilmus from KMSU in Minnesota.
Hi. Nice to talk with you.
I know we only have a few minutes, so we'll get started and talk about your new film coming up, The Color of Rain.
Okay. Yes, let's do it.
So this is for the Hallmark Channel, and I know you've done some dramatic stuff in the past, but what can we expect from this new one?
Well, it's based on the best-selling novel, so it's a true story, and a lot of times the Hallmark films that I've done, they haven't been true stories. So I love that it's something that, did actually happen, and playing someone and telling their story is obviously a lot of responsibility, and, we all tried to have an incredibly high level of respect for the Spains. But I played Gina Spain in the film, and she tragically lost her husband on Christmas Day to cancer and was left to raise her two children. And shortly thereafter, she meets a man, Michael Spain, who had just lost his wife to cancer and is left with three children. So the families come together to support one another and try and navigate their way through this grieving process. And in the course of doing so, they end up becoming friends and have a relationship and fall in love, and now they're married.
So some pretty heavy-duty stuff, it sounds like.
It is. I mean, obviously what they went through was just unspeakable tragedy and loss. But the film focuses more on their journey after that and overcoming that and healing from that. And I think the most important lesson, or not lesson, but the most important message for me from it was that it's okay to open your heart and love someone again. And you're not betraying the person you lost by doing so. And they're just a shining example of that in their family. And they're so funny, and they're so kind and supportive. And because it can be scary playing someone real, and it can be an unpleasant experience if the family isn't supportive. And they were completely on board and just wonderful to be around.
Definitely. And I know you've played a lot of different roles in your career. One of them, obviously, Mean Girls, which this is the 10-year anniversary, and you played Gretchen Wieners. Can you kind of give us some of your memories of being on set and what it was like filming that?
Oh, my gosh. It was just fun. I turned 21 while the movie was filming, so we all went out, and it was the first time I'd been away from home, to be honest with you, and, lived in an apartment, and it was just nothing but fun. We would cook and go see movies and shop and hang out, and then the filming itself was just, such a fun experience. I mean, the script was incredible. Tina Fey wrote it, and when you have funny dialogue, it's everything. So I think we all knew that it was going to be a great movie when we were doing it, but I personally, truly had no idea that 10 years later we'd be talking about it as much as we are.
Yeah, definitely a favorite for a lot of people, and we've heard some rumors of a reunion or maybe a sequel, but is that something that you've heard of, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think that they were trying to get everyone together for a reunion for the anniversary, but they weren't able to make it happen. But who knows? I mean, maybe one day they'll do a sequel. I haven't heard anything of that sort, but I think everybody would probably be up for it. Who knows?
Well, another thing, I was really impressed by your voiceover career. You were in the Wild Thornberrys, and of course you were Meg Griffin on Family Guy, and a lot of other things.
Yeah.
How did you get into that side of things?
I started voiceover work when I was a teenager. I mean, I had a really, really high-pitched voice, and I mean, not that it's incredibly low now, but it was very, very high-pitched before my voice changed, going through all the adolescent stuff that you go through.
Sure.
And it was recommended to me to get a voiceover agent, and I did, and I was very blessed to have some success in that world, and I love it. I mean, right now I'm on Rescue Boss on the Hub, and the recording sessions are just so much fun. I love doing it.
Well, and as you mentioned, you started your career off pretty young. You obviously were on Party of Five for many seasons, and, was that difficult to make that transition into being an adult actress? Because, obviously a lot of child stars, you hear a lot of horror stories.
It is a difficult transition. It's hard just to grow up in general. I mean, people have problems and growing pains, and to do that in front of the world is definitely intimidating, and it's hard when you have the opinion of strangers. But I've been my parents, I was very sheltered, I think, growing up, and I think that was helpful. And, I've had a few missteps here and there and maybe chosen the wrong projects a time or two. But all in all, I really have no regrets. And I try to just keep looking forward. And I love my job. I genuinely do. So just to be a working actor is a blessing and success in itself, I think.
And with that being said, I mean, obviously you've done TV shows, you've done the cartoons, comedies, the new drama, Color Rain, even some horror films, like Black Christmas. Is there one kind of area that you prefer over another, or is it just kind of all work to you? Or
It's hard to say. People actually ask me that a lot, and I always feel like I'm supposed to have the right answer, and I don't think there is one, because I love all of them, and the great part is when you can switch it up. I did comedy for a while, and so to do a little bit more drama this past year has been great. I would love to do theater again. I was just in New York and saw a show, and it really gave me the bug to sing again and do that. So who knows what's in the future, but I think that's also what I love about my job. Like, I have no idea what the future holds, and it can be scary, but it's also kind of the exciting part of it.
Definitely. And of course, looking forward to, whatever else you have coming up. Besides The Color Rain, is there anything, in the works, or anything for sure will be coming out maybe this year?
Yeah, I did a film called Christian Mingle, and that'll be coming out in theaters later this year, probably around Christmas time. But right now, just focusing on Color of Rain, and I hope people will tune in, because I think it's definitely something that will be uplifting.
Excellent. Again, Lacey, it's been great having you on. Is there anything you want to leave the listeners with? Any final thoughts?
Have a great day.
All right.
I don't know.
Wonderful. Thanks again, Lacey. It's been great having you on.
You're welcome.
All right. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.